Hello, the Book Deal listeners. It's Tina here, and I'm just popping into this ep to let you know that Madeleine, Natasha, and I will be hosting a panel at the Emerging Writers Festival, where we will be joined by the incredible Tony Jordan for a very special live pod recording. Tony will be acting as the ep's agony aunt and on hand to answer any and all of your questions regarding writing, editing, publishing, book marketing, anything at all about the writing and publishing world. So if you have a burning question to ask or would just like some top tips and advice from the very experienced and knowledgeable Tony Jordan, please submit a question to us to read out on the night. You can find the details of how to do this from the link on our Instagram bio or by sending us an email or DM. The event will be held as part of the National Writers Conference in the incredible Wheeler Centre in Melbourne on September 12, 2026, and tickets are still available to attend in person. We're so looking forward to this event and hope to see you there or read your questions for Tony. It's sure to be a super fun and memorable night.
This is the Book Deal podcast,
where you will discover the inspiring stories behind your favourite books.
We interview seasoned and debut authors, as well as publishing industry professionals, to bring you the best tips and advice on how to get that elusive book deal.
So no matter what stage of writing you're at, we've got you covered. I'm Tina Strawn.
I'm Madeleine Cleary.
And I'm Natasha Rye.
And join us as we pull back the curtain of published authors,
one deal at a time. The Book Deal podcast acknowledges the traditional owners of the land and waters which it's recorded on and pays respect to their elders past, present and emerging. Ladies, 100 episodes. Can you even believe it?
Yay! We need party poppers. Where's the party poppers? That's a mammoth achievement.
And we don't even have a glass of wine as well to celebrate.
What were we thinking? That's to come.
That is to come.
Next month, when we all actually gather together, we can do it in person. But yeah, congratulations, ladies. It's such a milestone, 100 episodes.
It's insane. If you remember, Tina, I sent through some text messages of when we started this podcast, just the initial conception of it. I don't think I would have thought we were going to keep going after 2 years and 100 episodes. Like, that's a lot. It's significant, isn't it?
Oh, and that time has flown, though. Absolutely flown. I can't believe it was 2 years ago. It's been so much fun. So I don't think it's felt like work at all. And, it's just been a really fun ride. But yeah, I can't believe it's been so long.
And it feels like, Tash, you've been part of the journey for the whole time. I don't know why.
I was almost surprised when I saw your message because I'm like, where am I? Oh, that's right.
Hang on. But not for long. Not for long. It wasn't for long. And
yeah. And thank goodness we brought you on.
It's been so amazing. Just so much fun.
It has been, yeah. And the fact that we get to catch up each month as well, it just puts it in the calendar, doesn't it? That you get to chat with your best friends and talk about writing. Like, it's just a dream, isn't it?
Exactly.
It really is.
So I went back and I listened to our first ever episode.
I'm scared to do that. I don't think I'm going to do that.
So I still remember recording it, actually. And this was just between Tina and myself, obviously.
That's right. Yes.
So it was published pretty much exactly 2 years ago. And do you know, I laughed so hard because the first thing we say, Tina, is, it's been a big month.
Oh, how the perspective has changed. Yes.
And I'm like, a big month? Such a year. And I feel like that's what we say every time we catch up, don't we?
We really do. Oh, look, it's a good problem to have, I guess. That's so funny. I think back to that and I'd like to hear how we sound, if we sound differently. But I don't feel like it felt just very natural straight away. I don't think.
Well, we don't even introduce ourselves, Tina.
Oh, yeah?
We just
we knew who we were.
We just start talking. And I think the first 10 or 15 minutes, it must have sounded like you were a rep for the CYA conference, because
I still do sound like a rep for the CYA conference.
Like we're getting endorsements.
I'm not a very good rep since they don't exist anymore, but
And I
unfortunately.
also mentioned Melbourne's weather as well. So
Yeah, well,
we're consistent, I reckon.
if anything.
But yes, it was great to listen to. I'm not sure if we sounded different. Maybe we sound, I don't know, have we grown more cynical, do you think, over the last 2 years?
Yeah, interesting. Don't know.
We'll have to ask people. What do you think,
Yeah.
Tash? Or are
I
we still
don't think
optimistic?
so. I think the curiosity and the optimism's always there.
Hmm.
I think maybe we just may have a bit more experience about parts of the publishing journey that we didn't know before, like all the business stuff. Like, I couldn't imagine talking so confidently about tax um, 2 years ago. So I think, yeah, maybe it's that. Yeah.
There was actually a part where I laughed because obviously 2 weeks ago we recorded our episode talking about our edits, and Tina was just trying to motivate us, going,
Yes.
"Ladies, I'm sitting here on the outside. What you're going through is part of the process. It's okay, relax." And in our first episode, I was also going through edits, and Tina says, "How are you going with it?" And I just said, "Oh, I just love it. I love everything about it.
Ah,
I just can't, I just love it. It's such a privilege." And now I'm like, oh my God, my brain. I
when will
think
it
that's
end?
changed for me.
Okay. Okay. Yes. Yes. Well, I mean, you've had to do it a few times now, I suppose.
I know, and it doesn't get any easier, does it? No, that's not, we shouldn't leave it off that. It's super positive. Speaking of edits, though, Tash, how is your tight deadline going? Did you submit your edits?
I did, and I actually got feedback already. So I got it on Friday afternoon at 5 o'clock. So I didn't look at it, even though I thought about it all weekend.
Oh,
You didn't
really?
look at
That
it
is
at all
some.
on the weekend
No,
because you were away, so you thought
yes,
just
that's
gonna,
right.
yep,
That's
leave it.
right. But at
Okay.
4:30 this morning, when I couldn't sleep, I
Mm.
thought, I know what I'll do.
Mm,
I'll start going through my edits.
sure.
Yeah. And then I stopped doing that at 7:30, so I had to get ready for work. But
Uh,
it's actually okay. There's a few kind of dangling bits that I need to address, but it's going to be okay.
And
mm,
when do you have to submit your edits by?
Actually, it was supposed to be this Friday, but I asked if I could make it next Monday, and they said yes.
yeah.
So next Monday.
Yeah.
Do you
That
feel
is my.
empowered when you ask for that deadline, like extension?
Yeah, I was just like, what's going to happen if I submit it on Monday? And there he goes, nothing. I'm like,
Yeah.
excellent.
That's my theory about a Friday deadline, though, I do have to say, especially like a close of business Friday. Like, they're not touching it till Monday morning. And I've had lots of
Exactly.
consultants during the years just automatically assume and send it like at 6 a.m. Monday morning or very late Sunday night. And they use that whole weekend to keep working on
Yeah.
their proposals and stuff. So, yeah, no, that's fair. That's good because a whole
Mm,
weekend is massive amount of extra time.
exactly.
Yeah, you
Exactly.
always got to ask, I think. Hey,
Exactly.
yeah.
There's no such thing as a weekend when you're a writer, isn't there?
No,
You just
ever.
keep
Really.
working,
Not
don't you?
just edits. Yeah. Because yeah.
It reminds me, you saying what you were saying then, just talking about edits as we have so much over the last 2 years. But I think it's really important. And I just actually this evening posted like a highlight from our Sarah Armstrong interview from last week. And it's the part where she talks about, and she teaches writing, and it's the part where she talks about how a lot of the um, work, I guess, is actually done in the rewriting. You can have
Mm,
this book and you do everything, but a lot of the magic and everything actually happens in that whole editing space after you've like sort of written the end. What comes after that is a lot of pulling apart that people don't realize. Like you get to a point you feel like it's fully formed, and then there's a lot of pulling apart, and that's where it can really turn the book from just a good book into something
mm.
that's unputdownable. So yeah, it's very
I think
timely.
Emily Maguire said the same thing, didn't she?
Yeah. And I totally agree with that. Not just as a theory, but the doing of. I
Mm,
always feel like now I'm getting into it when I'm doing the
mm.
rewrite and the edit. Hmm. Um, how are your edits going, Mads?
Um, so after we spoke, I got an email because I think I was quite, I'm not stressed, but I was just aware that I had a looming deadline. And I was given 3 weeks. I got an email from my editor asking if she could bring forward my deadline by a week. So that would give me 2 weeks. And it's so funny, ladies, because so I sent that request to you guys, and Tash straight away, you're like, say no. And I was like, I've already said yes, Tash. Because I'm
Teacher's
a
pet.
people pleaser. That's what I do.
Mm.
Um, so I did it. I did it. And actually having that time pressure was quite good for my productivity, I think. I had a free weekend as well, so I didn't have anything on. So that was also good. And what it has done though, I haven't really lost a week. I just got an extra week on the back of my next
Hmm.
edits. So my editor turned it around super fast, like in 3 days. She read it in 3 days and then gave me her
Wow.
comments.
Mm.
Some really good line level comments now. So we're getting right into the detail, which is awesome. And now I've got an extra week to look at those. So I'm going to be, yeah, further refining. So I think it was good that I did it. And yeah, it's getting there. It's really shaping up. And what I've been doing, and I'm not sure if you both do this, as you go through the manuscript, there's just a small peppering of nice comments from your editor,
Yes.
right?
Yes. Yes.
And I've been, because then you've got to resolve them or delete them. And I
I
hate
leave them.
Do smiley
I
face back.
I leave them in there until the very last moment. So because every time I'm like, oh God, I go back to the nice comment. I'm like, oh, that's right.
Oh,
it makes you feel so good, doesn't it?
Yes, it
Yeah,
does.
almost like sycophantic. It's like, oh, well, what I've been doing is I've been screenshotting them, putting them into a
Oh,
document, and then I delete them. So then I know that they're still there. And then when I feel bad and when my brain's like, oh, this is rubbish, it's nonsense, I just go back to my document, which says nice
I
things.
like that. I love that.
Yeah, I think
that's
I'm
Your
going to
good.
evidence
keep doing
log.
that. Is
Mm.
that, do you do that, Tina? What do you do with yours?
No, but I do think about with when I get my edits in.
Mm.
I just do like a little smiley face emoji back underneath and reply and keep it there.
Yeah, nice, nice.
But I do often think that I should do that. I've heard of people doing it before where you do collect all your positive, affirming sort of messages or just reviews and things as well, and put them somewhere really blatantly obvious, not just like a hidden document, but have it as your screensaver on your computer or a poster on your desk, anything. Because number one, you should be really proud of it as well and not hiding it away. And number two, you need it very clear and obvious for those times when that little negative worm gets in your head telling you that you can't write. When you can, look, all these people said these nice things about you. So, yeah,
I
that's,
had a very excellent boss, one of my first ever bosses when I joined the public service, and she said to me, "Make sure in your career you keep a brag book."
yeah.
Yeah, and every time someone says something good about you, you just
Mm,
write it down in your brag book.
hmm
I have did not follow her advice, but the advice stuck with me.
hmm
I
hmm
always thought I should do that. And I actually think that's really important for
Yeah.
writers. And particularly if you're receiving a lot of rejections and you are an emerging writer, anytime, you're submitting your work for a short story competition, you're getting some good feedback, pop that all in a document. I think that's really important in a brag book.
Yeah, because you think that you'd never forget it sometimes. Like you get something and you just think, oh, that's just the most amazing news. I'll never forget it. But you actually do. You actually do over time. You just sort of whittles away. So it's important. You should
Exactly.
celebrate the wins.
Have you had any wins in the last 2 weeks, Tina? What's been going on with you?
Last 2 weeks? Oh gosh. What's been going on with it?
Well, your hair looks amazing,
Well,
obviously.
that's the most important thing. That's what happens when you wash it. It's great. You know what? Like this is well, it's book week, CBCA book week this week. So the whole month really is just booky kids booky things. So I've done some school visits, and it was book week parade last week, which is so cute. My kids did book week parade, and there was a few Nikas dressed up there in the crowd, which
Oh,
was like, honestly, is that not just the biggest kind of just out of this world thing? I've always dressed my own kids up as characters forever, and now to have, kids dressing up as my own characters is just mind blowing. So yeah, there's been lots of prep for workshops and author talks and visits and bookstore visits and yeah, keeping myself very busy.
So, I mean, that is so super sweet to see kids dressing up as Nika. Like, I just
Yeah.
love that. When is Book Week? Is that this week or is it
This
next?
week.
It's this
Yeah,
week.
it's this week. But there's schools like I went to one last week because they had to do it the week before, and then I'm going to another one next week because they're doing it the week after because they all just have different schedules sometimes. So it turns into a bit of a month.
And I suppose if authors are prepping for it, they should really review the Book Week special episodes that came out in July.
Absolutely.
American
That's what
time.
they're there for. Look, yeah, so we've got two special apps all about school author visits and not just for book week and for, also there's people who write, for adults as well who definitely do go to schools, to the high schools to talk to kids about writing and about, covering themes in their books. And so, if you haven't done it before, it can be a little bit nerve-wracking and there's lots of things to, think about. And those episodes we ask, oh, how many, do we have seven authors in the end that we picked their brains on who gave us lots of their time and all their best tips for how to prepare for the visits and how to be ready on the day and what to do with nerves and what happens if there's a disaster and yeah, some really beautiful tips and advice for anyone who is keen for or gearing up for their next
And what's
author job.
your number one top tip for school?
Oh, number one
Putting you on
top
the spot here.
tip is be interactive, kids. I've not done high school, I've only done primary school, but my top tip is to be interactive. Always ask the kids lots of questions, and get them involved. Because they love talking about themselves. So yeah, get them involved. I actually start my presentations with a bit of a game, like instead of just going straight into my name's Tina and I'm an author and blah 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 blah. I play a would you rather, which I don't know if you yeah, it's the would you rather this or would you rather that, which the kids love, that sort of game. And it's like, would you rather clean up elephant poo or wombat poo? And that's how I start it. And that just kind of puts them at ease and they really enjoy that. And always have a list of silly jokes that the kids will love because you never know when you might need a silly joke, especially if there's like some kind of hold up where there's tech failures or something and you're waiting for the IT guy to fix the screen and you're just kind of standing there looking, it's just everyone staring at you. Pull out some of your funny jokes. It's just, yeah, it's just good to have them on hand.
No, it's like you've always got poo jokes up your
Oh,
sleeve, Tina.
exactly.
Lots of poo
Yes.
stories to talk about, yeah. Animal poo for those who aren't aware of the animal books that I write about.
Oh, I mean, we talk about
Just
poo,
to
adult poo
clarify,
as well on the podcast.
we certainly
That's
have.
featured in our many of our 100 episodes, I would say.
Certainly a highlight, I have to say.
Because you're going to be very busy, Tina, then obviously with Book Week, and then in a couple or 3 weeks, I think it is, it'll be less than when this episode goes to air. You both will be coming down to Melbourne, and
Oh,
we will
yeah.
be at the Emerging Writers Festival on Saturday, the 12th of September, which is really, really super exciting. We've got lots of fun things planned for that session with Tony Jordan, who's going to be our agony aunt. And now, Tash, how can our listeners submit questions to that?
So it's super easy. It's anonymous. So you can be as free as you want with your questions. The spicier, the better. If you go to the Emerging Writers Festival website, you can filter through the calendar and pick the 12th of September, and you'll see our event. And when you click on it, it has a link to the form online. You can also find it in our bio. Is that true?
It is true. I updated
Okay.
it. Yep.
Thank you. You can also find it in our bio on Instagram. Just click through, submit your question, and we will definitely try and get to it on the night with Tony Jordan.
I'll also put a link in the show notes to this episode as well. So definitely submit your questions. How juicy should they be, Tina?
Oh, the juicier the better, I think. And we've got a couple of good ones so far to start the juicy conversations. And look, they're all anonymous. So, whatever you want to ask, Tony's ready to answer the questions, as are we. Ask us anything, ask Tony anything. Yeah, we're keen because, and just remember, lots of people probably want to know the answer to these questions too. So, yeah, definitely don't be shy.
Yeah, and if you're a podcast fan and you're there on the day, come and say hello as well afterwards. We're excited.
We're very excited.
Very.
Speaking of our podcast listeners, given it is our 100th episode today, which is just, I still can't believe it when I say it, we have gone out to our Patreon supporters, our amazing, amazing Patreon supporters, and asked them to tell us and curate their favorite episodes. And I thought we'd have a little chat about it. So I'm just going to run through because I mean, obviously, we could go back and reflect on it, but it's so interesting, I think, to hear from listeners and what
For
their
sure.
favorite moments are. So Anne Farrell, hello Anne, has said one of her favorite episodes was the episode with Jack Heath. And that, Tash, I think you did that interview, didn't you?
Yes, I did. Yes.
Yes. And particularly how he was saying for 20 plus years, like he's obviously been in the industry for 20 plus years, it's always been in peril, and yet somehow we all still keep going. And that's
Yeah, I
quite
love that.
reassuring, isn't it?
Exactly. That was definitely something that made me feel better when he said that. And he's so great because he's got so much energy and he's so generous. That episode is just filled with such good advice. Some things that I don't feel comfortable with a writer because it doesn't work for my style, but so many good tips from memory.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. And she also mentioned the school author talks, super helpful as well, Tina.
Oh, good.
And even like, so our episode with Ali Parker and Mark Potts Russell, we did a episode on second books. Like, I'm really fascinated on second books. I just think it's so interesting. I think there's a whole, I mean, everyone's always so focused on your debut, right? And then if your debut does really well, there's pressure to write something that's going to be equally successful. But also, if you feel like your debut hasn't been successful, there's also pressure to release something that's going to grip everyone's attention as well. Like it is a thing. And I mean, Tash and I, we're in the midst of it at the moment, aren't we, with our second books?
Yeah. And also, if you're writing something quite different, that can be a form of pressure in itself.
We haven't really spoken about what we're writing as well, which we'll leave to subsequent episodes. But
Yes.
yeah, there is a bit of anxiety around it. I think what Mark said is that it wasn't that he was less anxious about his second book. It was just that he knew what he should be anxious about.
That's so true.
Knew what was coming.
That's right. That's right. So there's still that level of anxiety, but it's just like, you can't control so many things, and you learn that when you go through your debut. But there are things you can control, and they're the things that you need to worry about. So yeah, I quite like that. Okay, we'll go to Christine Newell, who's a very good friend of our podcast and
Hi,
us as well.
Christine.
We love Christine. So Christine, one of the episodes she reflected on was, Tina, your interview with Jane Tara. Which was such a popular people. So many
Really
people have actually
was.
said that to me, that they
Yeah.
love the episode with Jane Tara.
Yes, yes. As do I. And yeah, I was fortunate enough to interview Jane. And yeah, I mean, she's, apart from just being a lovely person to chat to, and we could have chatted for ages, but yeah, she really shared her I guess her sort of her routines and some of her practices, and that she talks about manifesting, and sort of just manifesting the life, I guess, that you want to live, and how being an author sort of fits into that, and how she just the journeys that she's been on, and yeah, a lot of it's I guess just sort of, yeah, imagining situations, for those situations like we were talking about before with school visits, and how to sort of get yourself into a better frame of mind for those sorts of things, all the way up to just fully believing in yourself and your writing and your career, and working out what you really want, like what would your perfect day be, and then taking those steps to work towards that, which was really beautiful.
And I remember from that episode, she talked about meditation as well, and the importance of meditation, and that if you feel you're too busy to meditate, you should meditate double the time that you should have, or something like that,
Yeah,
which I thought was
yeah.
great. Did you take on that, Tina? Do you meditate?
No, no, I do not. I know she said that to me. Yeah, it was, if they say that you should meditate for an hour unless you're really busy, and then you should meditate for two.
That's it.
And I love that, because we know that's true, even if it's not meditation as such, but like what you did the other weekend, Madeline, with even though you're super busy, took yourself off and made yourself go to the footy and do those things. That's your kind of way
Meditation.
of meditation and like nervous system resetting and sort of getting yourself kind of back in that space instead of trying to push through for another 2 hours and probably getting nowhere. Sometimes you do just have to take yourself off and do that, and then you're more productive when you come back. So yeah, look, no, I don't really, but I actually do try to practice a little bit of mindfulness every day. um and it's helpful, whether it's like 5 minutes or half an hour. I do try and fit that in sort of at the end of my writing, like when my end of my kind of creativity period is starting to wane. I sort of just take a moment, and then it's like a circuit breaker for the rest of the day.
I agree. Do you do that, Tash? I could imagine you would.
I don't meditate, but I know I check in. I remind myself to be present several times a day.
Yeah, I hear that's a very good method, and yes, even just morning, middle of the day if you can, and just before bed to sort of just stop for a minute, even if it's a cup of tea in the morning and some deep breaths in the evening, just to get back into that space.
Yeah, I've taken to touching trees every time I go out.
Oh, I love that so much. Well, when you come and stay with us, there are a lot of trees around here. So that's what we can all do. Oh my gosh. Okay. We can go into the forest. We'll go on a walk. We'll touch trees and then we'll meditate
Okay.
in the forest.
Yeah.
Okay. I did that with some girlfriends recently, actually.
Forest bathing.
We did. We went to this beautiful garden in the Dandenong Ranges near where I live, and we went to this garden. We sat down in silence on a bench, and we had the sun bathing us, and it was so lovely. And we could just hear the wind through the mountain ash trees. And we put on some meditation music, and we sat there for 15 minutes in silence, just the three of us. And it was
Beautiful.
actually quite nice to do that with friends. I don't know why. I find it more difficult to do it on my own because my thoughts race, but knowing that I've got my best friends there with me and we're all quiet and having a moment together, that was really nice.
I'm up for it.
Yep, count me in.
I was going to say we can maybe record it for the podcast, but no, we need to be
Record
tech-free.
Silence for
meditating.
15 minutes.
It wouldn't really work well, would it? Okay, let's do that. All right, we'll do some meditation when you guys are both here, and practice some manifesting, and we can manifest as well before our EWF, our Emerging Writers Festival session as well.
Yeah.
Vision boards, all sorts of things. So that was a great episode. And Christine also loved, and we just mentioned it before, our episode on tax and business and money. So I'm glad that was helpful. And it's something that I think we all need to be aware of, don't we? Even though we're creatives, the business side is important.
Yes.
Okay. Now, DJ Taylor, Di, who is author of Anna's War. And I love Di's message to us. I think this really sums it up quite nicely. She says, informative, often raw, and always honest. All podcasts hit the spot for emerging and newly printed authors. Do I have a favorite episode? All of them.
Oh, bless you, Di.
Thank you, Di.
You're the
Which
best.
is so, so lovely. Now, to finish, I thought instead of doing our top tips this week, we do something different for our 100 episodes. I'm really curious to know, we've been doing this now, obviously, for 2 years. We've done so many amazing author interviews. What have you learned? Or do you feel more sage, or do you feel like you know more, or do you still have more questions? Tell us your thoughts. Tash, I'll start with you.
Okay. I don't think I know I've learned more. I think I know more. But I think what for me I've noticed, I think that's what I was thinking about when you sent us this question. I've noticed two things. The absolute beauty and generosity of the writing community in this country. Like, I feel like I'm going to cry because I'm so touched by this community of people, because everyone from emerging writers to established writers, like everyone is so generous. Like if you go up to, most writers, if you go up to them at an event or at a launch or at a festival, they're just so willing to have a chat. And it doesn't have to be about writing, but just that absolute warmth and kindness and interest, especially when you say you're a writer. it's just really impressed upon me over the last 2 years just how lucky we are. And no matter how far you are in your journey of publication, like we've got this amazing resource and there's amazing people around us. So that's the first thing. The second thing is we talk about it in terms of perseverance. When you are submitting and you're trying to, get noticed. And I realized not only is it perseverance, every time you submit, you're saying to the world and yourself, I love me and I love my work. And that has an incredible value to me, regardless of what happens out there. And I just thought that is incredible because that's what keeps you going. Not just the perseverance and the resilience, they're very important, but that essential belief in yourself and in your work. And that's really come home to me in the last couple of years, talking to all these wonderful authors and listening to you and Tina talking to your authors.
Oh my gosh, how are we going to match that, Tina?
Well,
should have ended with Tash. My goodness,
I
that
know
was
she
amazing.
articulates it so well because I actually pretty much had the same the same points down. So I guess I don't have to say anything. No, but I truly one of my points was persistence. Is definitely key, and that especially persistence through rejections and everything else that this industry can throw at you. Putting yourself out there, which is quite vulnerable thing to do. And then if that doesn't work out in that instance, just still feeling all the feelings, but not stopping the writing. And just overarchingly writing because it's what you love to do, regardless of being published. And I think that's probably the biggest take home is, I wrote for a very long time with zero thought of being published ever. Did not occur to me. I just did it for most of my life just because I just enjoyed doing it. And I think most writers do that. So I guess it's just always remembering that and keeping on going and and not letting the fact of it actually being published, end that for you at all if that's what you enjoy doing. So very similar to your thoughts, Tash. But I do have just one extra note, I guess, which I think I knew this anyway, but I really know it now, and especially when you go through the publishing process and coming out the other side, and it probably touches a little bit even on, your second books that you were talking about and, the pressures and things, but just remembering your authenticity and being authentic to yourself in every kind of facet of this industry, with your writing, with yourself, when you're putting yourself out there, when you're doing talks, when you're out in the community, anything like that, media, publicity, just whatever's authentic to you, I think is always going to be the winner and coming on top if you're just being authentic to yourself.
Love it.
Oh, well, I should have gone first, I think, so I could end on both of you two. Well, this very similar thinking actually to the both of you. And I was asked this question over the weekend: what's been your highlight so far in your writing career, your author career? And my first immediate thought, it wasn't, writing awards or anything. It was finding community. And I think that's what you're both alluding to and talking about is suddenly this door opens and there are all these like-minded, kind, invested, passionate, willing to put themselves out there, and mostly as well doing it not for profit, for fame, for anything. They're just doing it for the love of what they do. And goodness, that's amazing. 2 years ago, we barely knew each other, and now I'm so thrilled that you're both my best friends, and that's just so wonderful. And that's not just because of the podcast. I think we would have been regardless friends, and that's because writing has brought us all together. And that's been, I think, something that I didn't expect at the start of all this.
Mhm. It's like an immediate sort of friendship, isn't it? You know, I went to an event, Romancing the Stars up on the Sunshine Coast, which is hosted by Book Links, and I walked into this room, and I think there was like 10 authors and illustrators there, and there was certainly some I hadn't met before, some that I had, but everyone I basically went up, gave a hug to, and started chatting to, and then sometimes you're a couple minutes in, and it's like, actually. Have I ever met you in real life yet? I don't think I've actually met you in real life. I think I know, I don't even know if I've messaged you on Instagram, but it's like you kind of know of each other because you're both, writers and you understand what this is all about. You just have this immediate connection. So it's like, other people that you would build up for, you know, months and months or years even before you go straight up and give a hug, that's just, out, that's gone. That's already happened. Like that connection is already made. And yeah, I don't know if I've never had another kind of role where I've ever been able to do that.
Yes, exactly. And I think, 2 or 3 years ago, if you'd asked me what success looked like as a writer, I probably would have listed awards and sales and all this kind of stuff. But
Mm,
now I feel like actually it's being part of this community. I
mhm,
think that's what success looks like. And I think that's something that all of us have been able to achieve. Let's say that we're successful.
mhm. Absolutely. I'm happy to do that.
Absolutely. Yes, I agree.
It's the best part of it anyway.
Yes.
Great. Thank you so much, ladies. 100
Mhm.
episodes down, hopefully 100 more to come.
Mhm.
Woo!
Absolutely. Can't wait.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the Book Deal podcast. If you are enjoying the pod, we'd really appreciate you following or sharing the show in your podcast directory, checking us out on Instagram and Facebook, or supporting us through our Patreon community at patreon.com/the Book Deal podcast.